Hello everybody. So I'm back from my trip to Kansas for the Unbound gravel. Figured I'd give a little bit of a recap on the race and the trip, the whole weekend. Even brought some sweet swag back. You can see. Should be a good conversation starter at parties.
Hey man, what's up with the hat? You live on a gravel road or something?
The hat. Oh. No, it's a gravel bike race. So kind of the biggest one in the world at this point.
Oh, you mean like on dirt bikes?
Like on bicycles.
Oh, so it's kind of like the Tour de France.
Well, not exactly. The Tour de France is all pavement, and it's like 21 days and stages, and yeah, it's pretty much the Tour de France.
Oh, okay, nice. So you know Lance Armstrong.
Looks like might need some new tires. So we left after work on Wednesday to kind of get a head start on the drive. And yes, we did drive. Sure, I'll get some questions about that. So number one reason being Katie was going to be my support crew at the checkpoints. You have your own personal crew that goes to the different checkpoints throughout the race. Well, not really throughout, there's only 2 of them. Anyway, for her to be able to drive around and then get the bikes there, it just kind of made more sense to drive so that we would just have everything there, wouldn't have to fool with shipping or flying bikes out and then flying and everything. Granted, I planned on this like over a year ago when I had first kind of signed up for the race, so didn't really take into consideration the like tripling of gas prices. So that kind of stung a little bit. But anyway, left Wednesday night, drove about 6 hours just to kind of knock a little bit out of the drive, and made it to Kentucky. And then the rest of the way we did on Thursday, finally making it into Emporia around like 6 or so on Thursday afternoon. Went and checked out one of the little pre-party things that they were doing at one of the bars downtown Emporia, sponsored by Chamois Butter. So we basically walked in and ordered a couple drinks, and they were like, hey, it's already paid for by Chamois Butter, you're good. Like, VIP. Then got up Friday, went back downtown where everything was going on, hit the rider check-in. Checked out a couple of the local businesses. They're all like super into the race and everything, and have signs up saying welcome cyclists. This little town, I think it's like 20 some thousand population, and apparently this event brought in like close to 12,000 people overall, 4,000 riders, and then support crew and family and whoever was coming with them. Then walked around the expo for a little bit.
Get some noise, go on guys, come on! We like free stuff! We like free stuff!
And even got to meet up with an old buddy from town here who moved away, TJ Morton. Alright, so rolling up to the start line. This is like 5:50 on Saturday morning. So the race starts at 6 a.m. Kind of soft goal that I'm shooting for is what they call it the Race the Sun crowd. Basically, so starting at 6 a.m., sun sets at 8:50-ish. That would put you at like just under 15 hours completing the thing if you come in under that.
Can you do like by rider?
Yeah. They're gonna send me text messages.
So they had the official cutoff set at 8:50 for the Beat the Sun official crowd. So then right outside of town, we hit the first gravel road, and really it was all gravel from then on, other than the town areas that you go through where the checkpoints or the water stops are. I mean, I'm talking, so the race is 200 miles and there's probably less than 10 miles of pavement on the entire course. I wasn't really expecting that. I don't know why, but just compared to the gravel around here, usually even on routes that are large percentages of gravel, you're talking, you know, you'll ride out on a gravel road onto pavement and go up the road a little ways and then maybe duck back in on another gravel road or something. But every intersection out here, it looks like the scene at the end of Castaway. All right, 10 miles in. Pretty flat so far. Imagine that. Just kind of cruising along, trying to keep a steady pace. Gravel's getting a little gnarlier out here. Some ruts, bigger rock size. Still feeling good. Pretty. Touch over 30 miles in. Gravel has smoothed back out. Gotten a little hillier. Been mostly keeping with the group there. I'm a little off both now. Starting to get a little raindrops, but no storms yet. Looks like some rain off in the distance. Sweet cell tower. So about 2 hours in, rolling around 17 miles an hour so far, so almost to the first water stop. So this was the first neutral water stop, or support people don't actually come to this spot.
Have a good ride.
I think that's one of the big climbs of the day. Yeah, I rode with Lawrence Tandem for a few minutes. World Tour Pro, no big deal. This seems like a good group, guys. Y'all want to go ahead and commit to stay together to the end? And then this happened. Flat one of the day. Couldn't really plug it, so I'm just gonna ride it out and hope the sealant takes care of it. Mile 62. All right, just rolled out of the first official checkpoint, mile 77 in Eureka. Saw Katie, ate some pizza, changed my front tire, but I couldn't get the new one to seat up, so I had to put a tube in it. So, probably gonna get another flat. Just be a game of changing tubes all day. Not what I was shooting for, but anyway, still on pace, I think, to beat the sun. Pick it up a little bit, make up some time. Just ticked over 100 miles. Well, 101 now. Got rained on just a little bit. Through the second neutral water, mile 115. Sun finally came out. I'm starting to feel it a little bit, not gonna lie. And then there was the mud. I think when the pros went through this, it had just rained, so they were able to kind of ride it still. But when we went through it, just rolling, it would cake up on your tires so bad that the bike would no longer roll, so you couldn't even push the bike. You had to carry it while slipping through the mud and everything, and then your feet are collecting mud.
That was fun.
Quick way to add 10 pounds to your bike.
Good gal.
That looks like a big one. 145 miles in. Then rolled into the second official checkpoint stop, mile 164.
Right here.
This is the second one where your support crew can come meet you and everything. And yeah, by this point, I'm pretty shelled. I chilled here for probably longer than I should have. Just kind of sat down for a few minutes to collect myself. Katie had kind of calculated if I left by, I forgot what the specific time was, but anyway, by this certain point and kept that same average speed, I could still beat the race the sun deal. So that's basically what I did. I just sat there and left by that cutoff time. Unfortunately, I didn't know there was another mud section after this checkpoint. Mud section number 2. Should have closed this off. Definitely tanked the average speed quite a bit. At this point, I was just getting really frustrated. Finally get out of the mud. I don't even know if I'm gonna make the sun time, which again, not the end of the world, but just kind of a frustrating way to come that close and then miss it because of mud, which obviously this race is known for unpredictable weather and flat tires and all kinds of things that are out of your control. But, you know, it's still frustrating in the moment. And this being like 170 some miles in, it doesn't exactly make pushing your bike a morale booster. Also at this point, I don't know why, but apparently my GoPro just didn't want to film the rest of the race. But at this point, I'm really pushing for time on the beat the sun thing. Luckily, it kind of flattens out and is more of a net downhill back into Emporia. So, you know, I have a little bit of life left in my legs, and at this point, we're 30 miles to go, I'm just like, all right, got to leave it all out on the table and go for it. I think we even got a little bit of a tailwind there at the end, which was nice. I'm just basically in the aero bars as much as possible and just pushing everything I've got left in the tank.
And riders, if you're going for the race, the sun, you made it underneath the cutoff.
And ended up making it in 14:48. Beat the sun by the 2 minutes official cutoff time. 14:48 would have been 14:50 for the cutoff. So somehow pulled it out in the end.
Alan.
So had a couple takeaways from this race for sure. Learned a lot about nutrition, fueling during the race. I tried to do mostly gels and things on the bike and then eat some solid food at the checkpoints. And my stomach was definitely starting to get a little kind of messed up towards the end. Not like anything serious, but you could tell it was just kind of not happy just from straight sugar all day. So I think I'm definitely gonna mix in more solid foods. And I think the major takeaway on this was your mindset going into a race like this. Basically quitting was just not an option. There was no quitting card in the deck. I'm not gonna, drive literally halfway across the country to go do this thing and then quit. It just, it doesn't register that way. When you take quitting completely off the table, you almost don't feel like doing it during the race, as dumb as that might sound. Like, I've had other races where you get to a point and you're hurting so bad that you're just like, oh, I could just call it right here and be golden. But for this one, it was like, yeah, I was still hurting. Obviously, it was 15 hours on a bike. When there is just no other option but to just keep pedaling, that's just what you do. Your body can do a lot more than your mind will let it do. So I think it's definitely good to kind of have that extra play, so to speak, that your body, it can keep going past this point because you've been here before. 200 miles of gravel. Would I do it again? Yeah. In fact, I'm probably gonna just enter the lottery for the race in the future years, and if I get in, I would like to do it again. If not, it's not in the cards that year. Just being there, like I said, the vibe of the whole weekend and the whole town is just cool. It's so many cyclists in town and everybody's checking out the shops and the expo and everything. It's just a fun environment for the whole weekend. So cool thing to be a part of. All right, hope y'all enjoyed this. Catch you in the next one.